For example 1, it says find the point Q along the directed line segment from point R, -3, 3, to point S, 6, -3, that divides the segment into the ratio of RQ to QS is 2 to 1. So to start off, step 1, always change this ratio, put it as a fraction. So we're going to have RQ over QS. RQ is 2, QS is 1, so it's a 2 to 1 ratio. So always start with that first. Next, we're going to draw our segment, that way we can have a visual representation of this. So our segment, let's read it again. Point Q is directed in the line segment from point R to point S. So that means R and S is a segment. R, S. And it says Q divides the segment into the ratio of this ratio right here. So that means Q has to be somewhere in between here. You could place it anywhere, doesn't matter right now, it's just a visual. Next, you're going to put your ordered pair. So R is given as -3, 3, and S is given as 6, -3. We don't know what Q is because the point is to find the point Q. So right now, since we don't know, it's just a regular ordered pair. It'll just be X, comma, Y. So that's how you would set it up in the beginning. Okay, so next, we're going to focus on finding what X is equal to. So our main focus, let's find what X is. So to find the X value of Q. So this is what we're going to do. All we're going to care about is the X values. So first, we're going to write this ratio. RQ to QS is equal to 2 over 1. So RQ, from R to Q, we want to know what is the X value. We want to know the distance between them. So we're going to do the X value, which is -3, minus Q's X value, which is unknown, so we're going to have a minus X. So we're going to have -3 minus X, and it's divided by Q to S. Q to S. So all you care about the X values will be X minus 6. And this will be equal to that ratio, 2 over 1. So notice all we're doing is instead of having R and Q, we're putting the X values of R and Q and then X values of Q and S. Now, what you're going to do next is look at the fraction here. Check if we can simplify anything or combine like terms. I have nothing. I combine the numerator nor the denominator. So now we're good. Here's what you're going to do. When you have two terms, -3, -X, and the bottom there's two terms, X and -6, put parentheses. You have to put parentheses because we're going to be distributing soon. So now we're going to do the cross product. You're going to take this and multiply it by 1. Now, you can multiply in any order. However, it's easier to put the number in front of the parentheses for you to distribute. So mine's going to be 1 times that -3 minus X equals, and then we're going to go ahead and do the cross product of the other one. 2 times X minus 6. Now this is why you needed parentheses. If I didn't have parentheses here, it looked like I'm just doing 2 times X, but it's not that. It's 2 times X and 2 times -6. So please remember, when there's more than one term, so 2 or more, always put parentheses. Okay, next, our goal is to solve for X. So I see X here, and I see X there. They're trapped in the parentheses. We want the parentheses to be gone. That way we could isolate our variable. So in order to do so, whenever you see parentheses, you have to distribute. So I'm going to distribute that 1 to each term. So I have 1 times -3, -3, 1 times -X, which is just -X. Here you didn't really have to distribute because it's 1 times -3 minus X, and 1 times anything is just itself. So we could have just left it like that. Now for this side, you'll do 2 times X, which is 2X, and then 2 times negative 6, which is negative 12. Okay, so now we're trying to solve for x. So if I'm like, okay, where's my variable? I see it on this side and on the other side of the equation. We want them all to be on one side. So I always move over the smaller variable. That way I can deal with positives as my leading coefficient. So now I have a negative x. I want to move it over. So the opposite operation would be adding x to both sides. So that cancels. You'll have negative 3 equals, I have 2x plus 1x, so I have 3x. And I bring down negative 12. Now here's your two-step equation. You could ask yourself, okay, where's my variable? Right here. What's attached to it? I have the 3 and the negative 12. How are they attached? What operation? This 3, because it's squashed with the x, it's multiplying, and negative 12 is being subtracted. So for us to do the opposite operation, always take care of the subtraction or addition first. So in this case, we have subtraction. The opposite will be adding 12. So whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other side. So now that cancels. So you bring down the 3x equals. So negative 3 plus 12 is going to give you 9. And you're still not done, because if I cover x, I still have a 3 attached to it. And we said it was multiplying, so the opposite will be dividing by 3 on both sides. So now x, that divides to 1x, x is equal to 3. And I'm going to put a star. And if you don't like it like this, you can always rewrite it as x equals 3. Same thing. Okay? So that's how we find the x value. Now we're going to find the y value of q. And it's the same routine. Instead, we're just going to focus on the y values. So now we're going to find the y value of q. So again, we're going to write our ratio. RQ over QS is equal to 2 over 1. So we're going to look at R to Q. R to Q. Now, all we care about is the y values. So now we're going to have 3 minus y. 3 minus the y value. And now we have Q to S. So Q to S, the y values. So it'll be y minus the negative 3. So we put parentheses, minus a negative 3. And that will equal to 2 over 1. Now, before we do cross products, you always ask yourself, is there anything I could simplify in this fraction? Or combine like terms? So I look at the top, I have 3 minus y, I can't do anything. But in the denominator, I have y minus a negative 3. When you have minus a negative, right away you should realize that should be a plus. So we're going to rewrite this, 3 minus y, and on the bottom, the denominator will be y plus 3. Okay, now we're all good to go. Everything looks simplified as it could get. So now we're going to cross multiply, cross product. Oops, but like I said, right now I should have put parentheses. Make sure you have parentheses now because there's 2 terms. Okay, so now I'm going to have the 1 times 3 minus y is equal to 2 times y plus 3. So it's very important to have parentheses. And now the same routine. You want to solve for y. It's trapped in the parentheses. You want the parentheses to be removed. So the only way to do that is to distribute. So again, 1 times anything is just itself. So you can still distribute the 1 if you want to, but it's just 3 minus y. And then here you distribute the 2. So 2 times y is 2y, 2 times 3 is 6. So if you ask yourself, okay, where's my variable? I see it on this side of the equation and on the other side. You want it all on one side, the y's. So I use a smaller one, which is negative y. I'm going to move it over. The opposite will be plus. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So this cancels. Now you have 3 is equal to 2y plus 1y is 3y, and bring down the 6. And now, again, you want to solve for y. Always take care of addition or subtraction first. I have a plus 6. We're going to subtract 6 from both sides. So you have 3y equals 3 minus 6 will give you negative 3. And if I cover y, there's still that 3 attached by multiplying. So the opposite, you would divide by 3 on both sides. So 3 divided by 3 just gives you 1. So you have 1y. Negative 3 divided by 3 gives you negative 1. So that's my y value. So as an answer, don't leave it like that because you're asking you for the ordered pair of q. So we could just write that q, the ordered pair will be x, so 3 comma negative 1. And that is your answer for this.